Yo guys, what's going on? It's Chamber here. So this is actually another video that I have. This is my third video in a row. I don't know why I'm saying that. Anyways, so this is going to be about my brand new CPU cooler that I got from my Ryzen 5 2600X, the Scythe Fuma 2. Now, I actually got this. This is like the first CPU cooler I actually got besides my recording slash streaming PC slash just PC I do stuff on as an Intel stock cooler. It's an i5 7500 that I built back in 2017. And then in my gaming system, I have a Ryzen 5 2600X that I got on Black Friday for about the same, for barely more than a 2600. So it was worth that little extra boost speed that I was easily getting for it. And they had the Wraith Stealth Spire, one of the Wraith stock coolers. And I'm like, I've seen good performance on these, and I was able to actually overclock at 1.375 volts, 1.05 SoC to 4.15 gigahertz. So I'm like, all right, that's pretty good. That's about still what I was getting in game before, even when I had Precision Boost Overdrive on when I wasn't overclocking. So I was like, that's fine. That's amazing. Let's keep doing it. So then I was like, I want more performance. I want to get high on these leaderboards, which I did actually. So I was like, okay. So I was like, what's a good? So I was like, Noctua. And then I was like, the Noctua. So now that we're here on my recording, Noctua coolers. So I was like, okay, let's go to Amazon right now. Amazon. So I was like, what's a good one for about $60 to $70? And I was like, this. I was like, this is pretty good. It can cool it. It even says, like, it can cool something like a 1090 XE. I'm like, that's amazing. But then I'm like, but one heat sink. I'm like, obviously that's enough, but at the same time, I want a little something more. So then I saw this. Now, available for right now, that's way more than I spent. I spent about the same price as an NHU12S. I don't remember right now off the top of my head. But then I was watching videos, and I watched one by Hardware Canucks, and I was like, a 9980 XE, which is an 18-core, 36-thread processor at like 5 gigahertz overclock. And I'm like, if this can keep this cooled at about 80 degrees under CPU load, I'm like, well, then this can cool my 3600 and my 2600X easily. I'm like, this is amazing. So, I unboxed it. I don't have any footage on it. I was talking to my friend on Discord on my phone, so I was like, ooh. And so, anyways, but this is amazing. 775, don't LGA 11 5X. So, your Core i3s, your Core i5s, your Core i7s, even your HEDT, and then all your AMD stuff. So I was like, this is amazing. So I do this, and I unbox it. First of all, I just want to show you this. I don't know why I love this so much, but it came with a little, little short holder, but magnetic. This thing is amazing. It's very nice because I'm really good at, I'm not good at losing things, but I'm really good at like dropping screws in a computer. Like I remember my first PC build, I actually dropped one in my power supply. I did get it out. Don't worry. I spent like 20 minutes with my dad getting it out. But anyways, so this thing, and I mean, this thing looks really good because I like the black and gray accents, and I kind of like, the non-painted heatsink because I'm like, that looks really good, but at the same time, that's kind of overhyped now. But it's a lot better than the poop, brown, and disgustingness. If Noctua fans. Like it's just disgusting. Like nobody wants this in their system. Just make them all black. Please, Noctua. But just don't add RGB. Never add RGB. That's a whole different topic. So I'm in here and I'm like, this thing is really nice. So, I'm screwing it in and I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, this thing is a big boy though compared to my 2600. So this is all it comes with. That is the Intel bracket. Oh, I can actually. So I was like, this is the Intel. That's the AMD. And I really like this bracket. I don't like having the backplate on, at least for me. Just how my case and my motherboard is. It doesn't hold on unless I hold it. Then you put these little gaskets kind of on it. And I was like, this is nice. Then you put these connectors on it. If you've ever installed another CPU cooler, you kind of understand. Then you have that thermal paste. I didn't use it. I didn't even look at what it was. Anyways, this guide is very good. It doesn't have any written, but it's very good pictures, and the pictures did help. and this splitter so that you can have both of your fans on one PWM header. So I use the black one, which is the one that actually senses how fast you should go. I've done one on the front slim fan because I'm like, that's the one that's really going to be pushing in all the air, which is it's a slim fan on the front because that is what your CPU or your RAM is going to clear. But I probably might actually put a big one on because I only have 2 RAMs sticks in there. So anyways, I put it on and I'm like, this is nice. So I go into Cinebench and I don't thermal throttle. Sometimes I was hitting 85, 87 degrees. I was like close to that thermal limit of 95 degrees on Ryzen. I was like, okay, we're safe now. We're good. So I was like, let's push this farther. I was at one point, same voltage. I was like, I used to be able to do, I did 4.2 once. Like, but this was like fans, max, everything. I put it on 4.2 and we've posted. I've been on 4.2. 4.225, stuff like that doesn't work. It kind of does, but then 4.25, which doesn't work. It does, it posts, but it's not stable in something like Cinebench or 86 Prime 95 small FFT. Well, anyways, so I was like 2600X, Cinebench, R15 score. So I was like, what are these scores? And I'm like, okay, so what are people getting at 4.2? I'm like, 1464, stuff like this. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. That's with an AIO. I'm like, what are people getting on air? They're getting like 4.25, and I'm like, well, let's get there. So this is not going to be the best score because, actually, you know what? Let me actually Windows key Shift S. Paint, Control S. We will save this to my documents and just call it 2600X scores. You can't say, I clicked documents. All right, save. Anyways, so now we're just going to pull this up. Sorry, my desktop's really messy. Just kind of happens sometimes. Hardware info, sensors only. Now we're going to make this a little smaller. Control Shift Escape so you can see that. And then Control Shift to exit Explorer. It's really good, especially since it takes a decent bit off. So let's just check these temperatures, run the CPU test. So we're idling at about 32 degrees Celsius, which is very good in my opinion. It kind of goes decently high, but I'm like, it's okay. 36. So I don't know if anyone else who has Ryzen does this. Why is it about 400 to 500 megahertz lower than the base speed, especially when you overclock? It also happens with Precision Boost Overdrive. If anybody knows, leave a comment down below about that, just because I don't know if it's a BIOS setting that I'm missing or something. Like, why is it going that low if my CPU is at 40 degrees? Anyways, yeah, these fans work. All right, so max CPU 41 degrees. I'm like, this is amazing. 1424. Now let's file run a new SAS Explorer.exe just so I can. So anyways, we're going to close out of that. Documents. So we're at 1424. Please do not open Discord. I need to. No, do not open Discord. I didn't even know. Anyways. So, we're kind of sitting here and I'm like, sorry, I forgot my score. 1424. I'm like, well, that's pretty good. That means I have the 20th score right now. Now, I really want to know how I can get this. Obviously, that's with an AIO. You know what? Actually, I think I can go for that score right now. So, I think I can go higher. I can go to about, I think I got 1440 one time, and I was like, this is amazing. Now, this is slightly faster just because I don't have any other programs open. And I feel like especially if I lower a couple programs, maybe even a fresh install of Windows, and I clean it up, I can get a little lower. But hey, it's fine for what it is right now. Maybe I can get slightly higher. But if anybody has any suggestions or has a Ryzen CPU 2600, 2600X, maybe 1428. That's slightly better. But anyways, so I'm going to end this video right here. Check out the Scythe Fuma too. I definitely recommend it for almost any CPU. Like, does Noctua really even matter? Like, should you buy a Noctua anymore? Is this going to beat Noctua? I don't think so, especially in the NHD 15. If you have a big CPU like 10900K that you're hoping to overclock, maybe just get a good liquid cooler. I'll leave good coolers, my cooler, and other coolers that I would recommend down below. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. My name is Chamber. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, guys.